That wasn't spicy.
No?
That was spicy. Yeah. Buckets of
Tomatoes.
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 Hi guys!
Hey guys!
Happy Tomato Day! Today we're doing some tomato testing. We have wanted to do this for a super long time and we thought we got a huge harvest today. If it looks like we're melting, we are. It's dripping hot out here. So Luca and I are soaked. We were picking the tomatoes and we thought a ton of the varieties are ready right now, so we thought this would be a really good time to do taste testing. There's still more that are ripening out there, different varieties, but we'll maybe do a part 2 or 3.
Yes.
And just do what we have today.
And I don't know if I'm gonna post the other video first or this one, but we did a harvest video and then they kept harvesting and then the harvest kept coming. So I'll put somewhere around here some B-roll or sorts of just shots of the tomato harvest.
Like a 2-week harvest.
Yeah, literally our island is covered in tomatoes, kitchen island, and our table. There's just buckets of tomatoes.
Buckets of tomatoes.
I love it. We are gonna work on preserving them today, but let's taste test them before we do that.
Yes.
Okay, so this is a new one. Which one, you want to start with the little big ones? Let's start with the little ones.
Yeah, let's
Okay.
go little to big.
So this
Little.
one is, Luca, what is this?
Spoon tomato.
This is our first time ever growing it. I thought it would be super fun for flower arrangements and just for fun for eating for Luca. Look at, I think it's considered the world's smallest tomato. It's called a spoon tomato. Okay, ready? Here we go. Mmm.
They're really tasty for being so tiny.
Yeah. Those have sat a day or two, which is nice. They ripened up. Really intense for little. The only thing I'd say is maybe a tougher skin,
Tougher skin.
but might be user error. I don't know.
What are we rating these on? We need a
Ooh.
scale of 1 to
Oh.
10 for taste.
That's gonna be hard because they're all my favorites. We
I
might
know,
be here all day.
but the people need some sort of
Okay.
objective data.
You go-
Or objective data.
Objective. You do it.
So taste, scale of 1 to 10. I would say texture, because some people are funny about tomato texture,
Yeah.
like if they're juicier or if they're like mealy.
Yeah.
And acidity. I'd say those 3.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do it.
So
spoon
taste
tomato. Are we doing it together or separate?
separate.
Okay. You want me to do it first? Taste, I'd say a 9. Texture, just because the skin, maybe a 7, but it wasn't mealy or anything. It was nice and juicy. Acidity was pretty spot on, like 8.
Yeah, I'd say similar. So taste-wise, 9. It's great. Texture, I'd say about a 7. Is that what you gave it?
I remember 6.
Texture, just because the skin maybe a 7.
But I'd say 7 because it has an outer skin that's pretty thick. I don't mind that, but I don't know. It's not mealy like you said. It's juicy. And then acidity, I think you said 8 for acidity. I'd say about 7. It doesn't taste that acidic to me. So
Are you rating acidity like
high acidity.
how well it is or how much acidity it has?
How much acidity it has?
Oh, then I did it different. I meant like it was balanced well. But
Yeah.
it wasn't high acidity. Yeah, it was like a 7 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And for funness, I would say that's a 10 because it's just fun.
That's a funness scale. 10 out of 10 for fun.
It has a really pop to it.
Oh, that's the funnest part. It has a nice pop. It
Yeah,
explodes
because of
in
that
your mouth.
thick skin, it just
Yeah,
pops right in your mouth.
that's really fun. Okay, you want to do those?
We can do these.
So
These
this isn't technically a tomato,
not
but
technically a tomato. It's a ground cherry, but I wanted to show you how they grow. They grow in these little lanterns. Luca went ahead and took them out already, but you open up the lantern, and essentially
these are Luca and Sebastian's favorite.
they live in here.
And they're
but-
this cute little yellow, they should be yellow when they're ripe. And they are, I'd say like a pineapple-y wonderfulness.
Yeah, so it's a
Taste.
pineapple, tomatillo, or ground cherry. If you've never grown them, grow them. They're easy and they're really good.
Very prolific.
We're gonna put them in the category of tomato. Cause
Ready? I got
Ready?
a real yellow one. Pop. Pop is great.
I think they taste really pineapple-y with a hint of tomato.
I'd say they taste pineapple-y, but I don't taste the tomato.
They have a slight savory
I don't
taste.
taste tomato either. Really? I think all sweet. I would say, well, so what are our categories? Taste, I would say 10. Like, it's amazing.
Absolute 10.
10 plus.
Texture.
Texture, I'd give it a 10. I love it.
Texture, they have tiny little seeds, almost like a kiwi feel. They're kind of crunchy, but the texture's amazing.
Because they're sweet. The more green they are, like unripe, they're not as sweet. And acidity, I feel like it's low. They're like tart in a good way, but not acidic. Maybe a 4.
I was thinking 3 or 4 for acidity, but they're more of a fruit
try
than they
it?
are a tomato.
This is what they look like when they're green a little. These green ones are when I pick them off the plant. The ripe ones fall on the ground. Like, these are ripe.
That's why they're called a ground cherry,
Yeah.
because you know when they're ripe when they fall, and they're really, really yellow and extremely sweet when they fall off.
So do you know, Sebastian, if you pick them unripe, when you pick them green, and you leave them on the counter, do they ripen like a
From
tomato?
my understanding, I don't think they ripen.
Okay.
So that's that.
That is so fun. Okay.
Let's see
Let's
how
go
this
ahead.
tiny one tastes.
Let's do, you want to do that one? We'll do these. This is the Sweet 100 cherry tomato. It's always a top seller in a nursery.
Top
Do you want
seller,
some?
and they produce,
No thanks.
called Sweet 100, because
Very
they produce like hundreds.
Prolific. Is that
Very.
right?
Yes.
Okay, ready? Oh, that's fun. It's like your standard like cherry tomato that you want.
When you buy it from the store and you think I want a cherry tomato and I want a good one,
Yeah. So
like that, but from the garden, because the
Oh.
ones are mealy from the store.
it's a little nutty at the end because I think they ripened a day or two. Taste, I'd say 10. Texture, it does have a little bit of a tough skin. I don't know if that's, if watering, I don't know if we do anything different.
I like that because on the plant, they don't crack if it rains a lot.
Yeah,
Sometimes
that's true.
cherry tomatoes crack and you can't really,
That's true.
they don't, you know, you have to use them right away.
So I'd say texture maybe 8 because of the tough skin, but it can be a good thing. Acidity, it's like a regular tomato, like an 8.
I'd say taste 10, texture 8, thicker skin. I tend to like the thinner skin when I'm eating them, but for cooking purposes and like keeping them, they last longer, I like a thicker skin. Acidity, I'd say 6 probably, 7 maybe.
Oh,
Lower to me.
really?
But I have a high acidity, like I like acidity. So, you know, I kind of like sour things and whatnot, so.
That's true. Speaking of acidity, these are my absolute favorites compared to anything. Absolute, absolute. This is a champagne bubble.
Woo, these are good.
Like, they're just so pleasing. You don't have to be ready for a tomato flavor.
I would say, oh, you go ahead, rank it.
They're so nutty and mild, which I love. Like, they're just
Very mild.
wonderful. So taste, I'd say like 20. Like, I love it so much. Texture's perfect. It's a super thin skin. It's not tough at all.
Yep.
So 10 on that. It's perfect, not mealy. And there's super low acidity, like a 1 even. I don't know. They're just so good.
Yeah, I'd say 10 for taste, 10 for texture, acidity, maybe 2, maybe 3, but they're not typically like, you know, yellow tomatoes or whatever, they're going to be lower in acid than the red. But that one is like even lower than than those. And it has such a neutral, mild, but almost like nutty. It's hard to describe, but like a nutty flavor at the end.
You know that I don't like to snack in between stuff. That's the only tomato that I will eat out while I'm picking them. I'll snack on them.
It's a snack or you can just
It's so good.
all day long. One of our favorites.
This, oh, you wanted us to do that one next? This is our first time growing the yellow
Pear
I don't remember
tomato.
if it has a special name, but it's a yellow pear tomato. Do you want to taste
Cut it in half, we can look at it. We should have cut some in half, but you missed that texture if you cut them.
Yeah.
This one I can
want
tell
some?
already
Yeah.
looks like the top part, I don't know if you can see that, has a little bit of mealiness to it, but let's see. Not my favorite.
Yeah.
Not mine either.
It's a fun texture. Do you want to rate it first?
Taste, I'd give it a 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd give it texture, I'd give it like a 4. I don't like the texture. What was the other one? Acidity, like 2.
Yeah.
Very mild, no acid, but
I say it's fun. The taste was kind of low tomato taste, but kind of mellow. Like, not that it's bad, but not in a pleasing way.
yeah.
Maybe a 5, yeah.
It'd be a good one to cook with.
Yeah. Texture was same, like, I didn't not like the texture, maybe a 7, and then it didn't have much acidity. Usually yellow ones don't, so 2.
Not my favorite.
I give the 1 on the taste because it doesn't taste that much.
So, I'm not 100% sure. I think this is I'm questioning myself. If this is the blueberries and cream that has ripened
I think
fully,
so.
let me give you some, Luca.
Better than I thought texture-wise. It looked a little mealy. It has a little mealiness to it.
I don't know if that's the tomato though. I don't want to.
We'll label that one miscellaneous.
It might be
Yellow.
the blueberries and cream, but I'm not for sure. It's higher acidity,
Yeah.
like a 7, 8. Taste, I don't remember.
I'm going to give it a 4.5 in taste. Not super strong.
It's a little sour.
A little sour, yeah, actually. Texture, I'd give it a 5. It was kind of
It's
juicy in the middle,
juicy.
but the outer rim was like a slight mealiness. And then a third, the acidity, I'd give it a 7. It was actually somewhat more acid than
Yeah,
what I'm used to in a tomato
Yeah.
like that.
I'll go with
So-
you on those. Interesting. Okay, San Marzano. So I'm super excited. The San Marzano, especially those, but the other ones have performed so beautifully. Usually we get blossom end rot on these, the other ones too, but especially these. But when we planted them, we put lime that we have from the chickens in the hole, and I cannot believe the
We have not
difference.
had any blossom end rot issues, so the lime is calcium.
Yeah, which is what blossom end rot is,
Yes.
a deficiency.
Ready?
Oh,
That's good.
it's the first time I've tasted the San Marzano straight up this year.
I can eat this raw.
And these are what, this without salt. Mmm. Taste 10. It's sweet too. And it's got a strong tomato flavor.
For being a
Text-
paste tomato, it's not mealy.
Yeah, texture 8 or 9 because it's not, it's more juicy than a mealy, and acidity 7, 8. We got good acidity.
I see why they make sauces and stuff with this, because the flavor is really good, and I bet you when you cook it,
Yeah.
it's going to be even more concentrated.
I think other years our San Marzanos were mealy. This one's juicy. It's
That's
nice.
good.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it leaves you with a little bit of that nutty.
Stellar.
I want to
That's-
make some Italian food now.
Let's
Oh
do
my
the
goodness.
Valencia.
Isn't that pretty?
This is a Valencia tomato.
You want some of that, Luca?
Let's see. Let's try this guy.
Oh.
Look how meaty.
It looks like an orange.
It does, doesn't
Does look
it?
like an orange.
I might try a tiny, tiny, tiny bit.
Okay, so I got one that looked like it had some meat to it. Ready?
I don't think it's as sweet as it's supposed to be.
No.
Maybe it needs more minerals or organic fertilizer.
I like it.
You like it? It's very mild.
Mild but sour.
A little bit. What would you rate it?
Taste, I'd rate it like 5, maybe 6 on the generous side. 5.5. I'm going to go 5.5 for taste. Texture is actually good. It's meaty. Say 8 for texture. I like the texture. And then the acidity is higher than I expected. I would say 7.5
Yeah.
for acidity. Because even the juicy parts right here are really sour. Beautiful tomato. I love
Yeah.
the looks of it.
I want to love it more than it tasted unless we did something.
I don't know if I'd grow it again. Valencia.
I would just for the
Nostalgia.
nostalgia of it.
Just
But
to have
yeah,
an orange tomato.
taste is like a 4 or 5. It's kind of, I don't know, bland.
Kinda
sour.
blah.
But the texture is, like you said, very juicy, very nice texture.
I would put it in sauces and stuff, in recipes to cook with it, because it kind of disappears at that point.
Yeah. Is that the big guy, Luca?
We'll wait
Yep.
for him at the end.
Okay.
Ooh, save him to the end.
Let's do
Cherokee purple.
Cherokee Purple.
This is another top favorite heirloom seller. I never understood why people liked it so much because I think the brownness of it puts me off. But then I have tasted it this year and I remember. You
There
want
you
some,
go.
Luca?
No thanks.
It looks very meaty.
Neat.
So, I'm going to say, to be fair, the other one I had tasted a little different than this one. The other one
Yeah.
was sweeter. Very juicy. Maybe a 8 on texture like the other ones. The taste on this one's kind of sour bland. But the other one I had wasn't. So maybe a 5 on taste, and the acidity 7, 8 maybe.
I'd say taste like 6 for me. Texture, I like the texture, like 8.5. I do think we had one that was a little meatier and sweeter. So,
This
you know,
one-
every tomato is just a little different.
This one might not have ripened up as much yet.
Yep, that
Might-
could be.
It might have more.
So maybe it's sweeter. I've heard some people call these tomatoes or describe these tomatoes as being smoky. I don't know that we've had one that's tasted smoky to me yet.
Interesting. Maybe when
Um,
it's that perfect ripeness.
And then acidity, I'd give it like a 6.5. Lower, but I'd grow it again. I like it,
Yeah.
especially because we got some good ones. But
And again, for sauces and just to throw in together.
this one is your run-of-the-mill,
Better
but
boy.
dependable better boy.
Yeah. I don't like these, but I grew them this year, or we decided to grow some just to have a high productivity. And I think I mentioned in the other video, when you grow it, it tastes less conventional than the grocery store ones. So I like it a little more than I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good.
What's your
It's a little sweeter than I expected. Wanted to tip on the blah side, but not quite there. Very juicy, again, 8, acidity 8-ish.
What did you do for taste?
I didn't rate it yet. Maybe a 7. Like, it's good. It could be better. Maybe it just needs more fertilizer and minerals, but it's a high producer, and it's nice to have a lot for sauces and items. What would you say?
So you said 7 for taste.
Mm-hmm.
You said for acidity
8 and 8.
and texture 8. I'd rate this one higher on texture because I really like its meaty. I'd give this one
Yeah.
8.5. Taste-wise, I'd give it a 7.5. I like it.
Yeah,
I think with salt it'll be better.
that's true. With salt, it always enhances the
And then if
taste.
you you know, like do a caprese salad or olive oil or even balsamic and salt, like this is a great,
Yeah,
good, kind of generic tasting, but
right.
when you think
Your
tomato,
standard one. I just thought when you said that the smokiness might come out of the Cherokee purple with the salt. So that could
it
be
might.
something too.
And obviously we're tasting these without salt just to
Right.
get like a general,
Yeah.
but I like these. These are just your, you know, clean. I definitely grow
It's
these again.
very, I think almost all of them are like this, like very, what would the word be?
Perfect.
Yeah, like not hardly any blemishes or bugs, so it's a nice one for not having rot or bug issues.
I like it.
Look
I
at
do.
this beauty. This is one of our biggest, if not our biggest, beef master. This is amazing.
She's a beast.
I'm so excited because I think it's the first year we've grown beef master. We've grown it with my parents before, and it's another, almost like a Better Boy heirloom. Like, it's very high producing, very dependable. Not many blemishes or bugs on it.
Yep.
With salt. Oh, that's good.
Taste, I'd give it a 8.5. With salt, probably a 10.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it just draws out all that stuff in there. Texture, 10. High, like just, you can see that. It's just beef master, right? A beef tomato. I mean, this is a good slicing tomato to put like a tomato sandwich. It's got that meatiness. Love the texture. And then, it does have a slight mealiness to the meatiness.
But it's juicy enough.
But I don't mind it at all. It's like really meaty. And then acidity, I don't remember. Acidity is right there.
Yeah.
Like 7, but in a good way.
Yeah.
It's got enough sweetness to be...
Right, to balance it. I'd say 10 for taste. It's so good. It's got like this sweet enough deep flavor, and it's nutty. I love, with salt it'd be perfect. Texture, yeah, like 8 or 9, because it's hearty, it's not mealy, and it's very juicy. Acidity, it's very well balanced, like 7 or 8.
So good. I'd say this one is my favorite out of all the tomatoes. The big tomatoes. Beef
Yeah.
Master, well, for sure. Because
Yeah.
we got a lot of these, and they're big.
Yeah.
Like that tomato plant produced, and they taste great.
Right. And it just feels fun, like you have a very dependable heirloom that doesn't get a lot of rot or disease or Like the cat facing is pretty minimal, which that's never really a big issue. Just cut it off and eat it, or just eat it. So I thought if you don't love the taste of your tomatoes, or they have a lot of disease, a lot of issues, I always think of soil, the soil health, and the nutrients and the minerals in it always affects how it tastes.
Yeah, and we feed ours with compost and, you know, biotone fertilizer or plant tone. I think we gave it biotone and garden tone. And then we did lime and
Rock dust.
rock
I did
dust
put rock dust in that
for
bag.
the minerals.
Yeah.
So we gave it everything. But we're going to try again another Cherokee Purple just to see if there's any difference.
And I did bring salt up just to see.
Yeah.
Oops.
We're going to like every single one with salt. Okay.
Spilled some salt.
There you go. So this is another Cherokee tomato just to see if there's any difference across the...
About the same, but you want to try the salt?
This one tastes a little sweeter.
Maybe. It was a little more red on top.
Here's that without the salt. Hold on. Try that one again if you want to compare
This
it.
is the old one?
This is the, first one. I'm trying to give her a... Supposed to taste them side by side without the salt.
I did, Ray.
No,
Oh.
not the old one.
Salt makes
It's sweet.
make it. It brings out the smokiness. Try
This is the new one with salt.
it. I'm gonna put salt.
She just wants them with salt. All right. 10 for all the tomatoes with salt. Yep. All right, no salt this time.
I did taste it with no salt. The new one.
Looks like a persimmon to me.
It does.
Me too.
Ready?
Me too.
After having the salt, they go bland, but is it me
Is
or
it-
this one better?
I think it's a little better. It's not as sour. But
I like this Valencia.
the salt isn't as impactful on that one, but this one is better tasting.
Definitely better tasting than the other one. Nowhere near as sour.
Because this one has ripened a day or two on the counter, and this one was just picked. Yeah. Do you want to try the Beef Master with
I'm
the
not blah
salt?
with the salt. I mean, I like it, but...
It's not, yeah, it's noticeable.
All right,
Right.
Beef Master with salt. Feel like we're in Italy.
Yeah,
That put me on a boat straight
I
there.
know.
Like mozzarella.
I have that. I
Olive
actually
oil.
bought mozzarella. We have basil. We're going to make some caprese with this. If you make a balsamic reduction, maple syrup.
Grow the Beef Master
Ooh.
tomato
Yeah,
for sure.
so good.
All right, this is the
Better
Better Boy
Boy.
with salt. Bet you this one's gonna be really good.
Mm-hmm. That one's really good.
Tastes like a very good garden tomato
Yeah,
that is just kind of generic, but in a good generic way.
but it's not blah.
Not blah.
Surprisingly.
Not blah at all. The texture of it is like,
I need to go pick some basil.
I know.
Ooh,
I can do it.
you're so sweet. These are so good.
I'll go.
And we, like I said, we haven't even had the rest ripen, that all the other varieties, so I'm interested. They're so good. Okay.
So we have an entire counter
yes,
top full.
of this.
of this
So
madness.
I need to go preserve them now.
So she's gonna go preserve them. If you are local to our vicinity in South Carolina region, we're doing an event at our office, Set Apart Health. Is the 29th of this month, July 29th at 12 p.m. at Set Apart Health,
2023.
2023. So if you watch this video later,
Yeah.
you can't watch it before. You can watch it later. Or if you do watch it later, then this won't exist, this event. But we are doing an event on preserving, I'll put it on the link, it's a Facebook event, preserving your food at home, just the easy way. So we'll show how we dehydrate tomatoes to turn them into tomato powder, And then we use the tomato powder, and then you add water to it to make tomato paste.
Or pizza sauce real quick.
So yeah, and then we use that for anything. Then also we'll can some of these.
Freeze a lot of them.
We freeze a lot of them just whole, or some of them, you know, they're so big we're just gonna cut into pieces. And then after we, you know, we freeze them, we'll just make sauces out of them for whatever kind of sauce we want to make.
I thought it'd be fun to have as many tomatoes this year to preserve. I don't know if we'll have enough for the whole year, but to have tomato products all year, as long as we can keep them going. So I'm so excited. Look how like the juice is just running off of that. So we are so thankful for the Lord's provision for all these tomatoes and just abundance of them. And like Italy is my favorite. I love Italian food, so I just am so excited to enjoy all of this.
Could you imagine a little salad just of these little spoonful
They would be
tomatoes?
really good. Yeah, they would be really good to eat as a
Like just the texture
meal.
of it alone.
Yeah. They're like candies the way they pop.
I love it.
Oh, Luke is busy.
Anyway, you don't need to watch me eat tomatoes any further because I want to eat this whole plate. Or this whole cutting board.
Yes.
But we hope you enjoyed that
Yes,
video.
we hope that was fun. I hope you got to see some fun
basil.
basics. Oh, thank you, Luca. You want to show them the basil
I
real quick?
picked a kind of pepper to see how it would taste with some spice.
Some spice.
Ooh.
This is the spicy bush basil.
Yeah, I don't think it's spicy.
It's not
That's bush
spicy.
basil.
You got the
Purple.
purple and the
Big
Genovese. Big green.
And a cayennetta pepper.
To see how
Let's
it
see.
tastes with some.
Oh,
No.
Took a bite of it.
you never had it plain. Is
Cayennetta
steam gonna come out of you?
is a milder cayenne pepper. But that wasn't spicy.
No?
Until I get to like the
Just
seeds and the
They're
vein.
halfway up. They have a vein?
That was spicy. Yeah, no.
Steam! Alright guys, we hope you guys are enjoying all your tomatoes and summer harvests, and just let us know what you guys are all harvesting. But this is the time to enjoy it in the celebration of summer as we get tomatoes. So we hope you enjoyed this. It was so fun.
It was so
Fun
fun.
to taste them with you
My
guys.
mouth is on fire.
We appreciate you guys.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.
Fun
P.S. Luca wanted me to eat the basil with the tomato. Luca,
So hot.
wow. I just need some mozzarella. That's perfect.
I want any other flavor right now in my mouth than spice.
Ooh, that's good. So good. Thanks again. Bye.
And be aware of the peppers.